Let's fly. Let's do it.
All right, cool. Chad, are you ready? Let me know, Zoom. Let me know, YouTube. You guys ready to get the bird in the air, get to it tonight or this afternoon? We always say tonight because this is how this call started. Started as an evening flight for the East Coasters. It's getting towards evening, but are you guys ready? That's all I need to know. Can we light the chat up? Give us a good idea if you guys made it through TSA. Did you make it all the way to the plane, to the gate? Did you get down the jetway? You find your seat? You got your bags stowed? Because if y'all are ready, we're ready. I think the gauges are looking good up here in the cockpit. We've got the highlighters. We got the glow sticks, baby. They're on the way. There it is. Push us back. Birds humming. Yeah. All right. I see a few. Where's the rest of the Chads? Where's the rest of y'all? I know there's more of y'all here. I just need you talking and communicating because we don't leave Chads behind. It's one thing we don't do. We make sure everybody gets where they want to go. You got to show up though. You got to do part of this yourself, and part of that is the engaging piece here. But what about the rest of Zoom too? You guys ready, man? It's kind of quiet over here today.
Wheels up.
There we go, Johnny. What about the rest of y'all? We good? Give me a thumbs up if you got your camera on.
Oh, we
Something.
looking good. Come on.
There we go. Cool.
Trey dog, baby.
All right.
Okay.
YouTube's starting to light it up a little bit too. What about you, X? You look a little frozen over there. Is X frozen? I can't tell if his eyes are blinking or not. Oh yeah, he's moving. He's moving. All right, cool. So let's do this. A couple reminders for you guys. Be positive and respectful, not just online, not just in the in-person interactions, but offline too. Anytime you get blessed with an interaction with another human being, show up and show love, man. I think this world will be a completely different place if we just made like even the smallest effort towards that. You'll see a ton more opportunity as well to yourself. Blood makes you related. Loyalty makes you family. You hear us talk about that all the time. That's probably our number one core value here. And so how do you show it? That's always the question because it's easy to talk about, easy to type, easy to run the trap on it. It's not the lip service though. It's how the feet move. It's the work. It's the verbs, baby. Uncle says it best, actually. If you guys don't know Uncle Answers, check him out. All music streaming platforms. He will be out there, but no words, more verbs sounds perfect. So fasten those seatbelts. Make sure that those seat backs and the tray tables are in an upright and locked position until we're at a cruising altitude of about 50,000 feet this evening. At that point in time, feel free to move around the cabin. We do have some emergency exits and lavatories located at the front, back, and middle of the plane. Speaking of the exits too, check your flight ticket. Make sure you're in the right spot. This is a first class only flight. So if this is not where you want to be, feel free to use one of those exits. Otherwise, we'd be happy to provide you with a complimentary clap at any point in time during our nonstop direct service to opportunity this evening. And also underneath your booty, very important, check to make sure you got your long-term chair cushion. That can be used in the unlikely event of an emergency water landing as a life-saving device. And speaking of the long-term too, if you guys don't have TTF real estate in the long-term chair, you're missing the boat, baby. You're missing the flight altogether. So we got to get that added in there because we're leveling up. We're doing bigger things. We're breaking records, bigger things than we've ever done. And we want you to be a part of that, whatever piece of that it is. If it's just tuning in on the stream, being a part of the community, that's fine. You want to take another step and run with the herd, actually in the business and have the biggest opportunity that's ever existed, something that allows us to collaborate in a way that was never possible in this industry before. Hey, let's take the next step. Let's do that. If it's running with the team, I don't know, like whatever part of this you want, it is there for you. But you've got to add TTF real estate to your long term to have that opportunity. So how do you do that? Very simple. Reach out to us. All right. Shoot us that message, a DM at TTF Real Estate on Instagram. Or if you want to shoot the email, you can send it over to coltrealestate@gmail.com. And let us know three things. Where are you located? City and state that you're in. Number two, what is it that you currently do or what is it that you want to do in real estate? And number three, where are you at with that thing right now? You just starting off, you need to hook up on the discount codes. Are you ready to go buy, sell, invest property right now? If you need to hook up one of your friends or family members with a good connection, like an agent or a lender or someone to help them do something in real estate, we got you covered there. You need some study materials so you can go pass your exams. Maybe you're already in the business. Maybe you own your own brokerage. Who knows where you're at? But at any level, we have some value, some really big value, really big opportunity for you. If you just let us know where you are, we will come back to you for free 99. We don't even charge for it. No credit cards needed here, baby. Just shoot the message over. So Again, that's at TTF Real Estate on Instagram, or you can send an email over to coltrealestate@gmail.com. But with that being said, what are we going to talk about on this flight today, Tyler?
Man, we're gonna dive into the mastermind. That's what we're gonna do here. So the floor is yours, Chad. What do we want to talk about? Y'all tell us. I mean, we could prepare something every single week. There's plenty we could talk about. We could talk about the thumbnail. We could talk about the title. I want to talk about you guys. Like, let's dive into what's on your mind. What's going to help you move the needle forward in your life with where you're at on this journey in real estate. So think about what's that next goal? What's that next destination? What's the next milestone we're working towards? Is it getting in the game? Is it getting another property? Is it getting property number 1? Is it getting property number 5? Is it getting in the business? Is it taking your business to the next level? Like what do we want to do here? Like you tell us, Chad. You tell us, and we'll dive more into whatever it is you want to talk about that's related to real estate.
Not quitting. You better not quit.
Oh
You better
yeah,
not quit.
no, I'm not quitting. That's what I wanted to talk about potentially is like how there's well, I've just heard about statistics of like so many agents dropping off the real estate bus, and you know that opens up so much opportunity, especially because of rate potentially or coming down because of the election. So yeah, I don't know if that would be for this call, but I'd
Yeah,
love
let's
to
talk about it. So
that.
traditionally, man,
Trace
there's a lot of agents, right? I think the last stat I heard is there are about 2 million real estate agents in the United States alone. And what we saw during, I'd say, the past 3 to 4 years is a lot of people get in this business. I don't know the exact stats on this, but I would be willing to bet it was one of the highest levels of people getting their license ever in history. Because what happened? 2020, everybody gets locked down, gets told stay at home, gets told you can't go to your job and make money like you traditionally did. So what did everybody do when they were at home besides play video games? What happened when COVID went down, everybody's locked down, they're stuck at home. What were they at home doing?
Some people were looking for new sources of income.
Bingo. They were trying to figure out, well, dude, if I'm stuck at home, if I can't go to my normal job, if I'm not even sure what that looks like, even if they give me my job back, if they can just rip these opportunities out from under me, I'm not in control. I need to figure something out. Right? So a lot of people looked for other income opportunities. Or if not just that, I think a lot of people during the past few years have had the time to pursue some, let's call it either hobbies or dreams that they kind of always had in the back of their mind, but never really took action on. So like a lot of people, for example, might have thought about getting their real estate license, might have always said, you know what, maybe that would be a good thing to do one day. Well, then when they get locked down, one day rolls around, right? And it's like, okay, I got the time to do that now. So 2020, 2021, even in 2022, we saw a ton of freaking people get licensed. I'm saying, I don't know the exact stats, but probably about as many as have ever gotten licensed in a short period of time. There's a whole wave of it. And then, so what did you start hearing? Well, then you start hearing that everybody has a real estate license and there's no opportunity. Kind of the opposite of what you just said, Nadim. Right? And now they're like, oh, all these people are getting licensed, you know, and the market's too saturated. There's no opportunity. You know, nobody's gonna be able to penetrate that, which is BS, by the way. We helped a lot of people penetrate it over the past 3 years and create some really successful businesses. But now we're starting to see the ebbs and flows of that, right? So that was kind of a peak of people entering the business or getting their license, and now we're seeing a different part of the cycle. And in like normal times, any given day of the week, 9 out of 10 people who get their real estate license are going to fail at this very quickly. And when I say fail, really what it means is they quit. They decided real estate is no longer something I am going to pursue. So people get licensed, and 9 out of 10 of them are going to be gone within 5 years, right? So if you guys are working on your license right now, that will apply to you as well too. 9 out of 10 of the people who are getting their license along with you right now are going to be out of this business in 5 years. Most of them in the next 12 months. Why? Well, they quit. Well, why did they quit? Why do you think people quit real estate, guys? Let's talk about this. Amen. You only fail if you quit.
Improper expectations, lack of action.
Yeah, I would say that's a huge one. The two biggest ones right there, honestly. Lack of action and improper expectations. So what do you think their expectations are? What do a lot of people think when they get their license?
They're going to come in and make a ton of money without doing any work.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to get this license, and it's a license to print money. I got news for you. That is not what a real estate license is. It's not a license to print money. Only one place can do that. I think it's called the Federal Reserve or the something like that, right? The Mint. That's what it's called. The Mint is the only place that can print money. And your real estate license does not turn you into a mint. So what does a real estate license actually give you guys then? What do you get if it's not the ability to just print money out of thin air? What does a real estate license actually get you? Opportunity. Okay. But like what opportunity does it give you? Open the door to a money printer? No, not quite. The ability to help other people, to represent clients. To represent clients or to provide, better yet, to provide a real estate service to clients and get paid when they close a real estate transaction. So what it is illegal to do without a license is to get paid in relation to a real estate transaction closing. So what everybody forgets is, oh, when I get my license, I actually have to help people first. I actually have to go to work and provide value in order for there to be money coming out of this thing. It's not just I've got my license and then I post on Facebook one time that I passed my test and now I'm just printing money. All these people are popping up out of the woodworks. They don't realize. So I believe there are 4 major breaking points in somebody's journey in real estate where they're going to fail or where they're going to get stuck. Even if they don't quit and get completely out of the business, where they're going to fail. I'll give you guys the first 2. I'm not going to get into the other 2 today on the stream. I don't think it necessarily makes sense with this conversation here. Maybe if somebody asks a question where it pertains to, we'll get to the others. But what do you think is the number one reason people fell in real estate, guys? What do you think is breaking point number 1?
Not prepared, not willing to put in the work.
Not willing to put in the work. That's breaking point number 1 right there. I call it commitment. Okay. Breaking point number 1 is commitment. They are not committed to building a business. They wanted money. They thought if they got this license, money would just show up, but they're not actually committed to running a business. And even if they're committed to working, they kind of have a misunderstanding because they think, oh, well, if I just get my license, maybe one of these real estate companies will hire me and they'll just give me this big salary or something. No, that's not how it works either. You become a business owner. Okay, these real estate brokerages are platforms for you guys to run your business on. And there's a whole nother conversation with that and picking the right platform or vehicle and positioning yourself well. But regardless of which vehicle you're in, it's your job to not just go help the client, right? It's not like imagine you were in a retail sales job, right? Let's take, I don't know, somebody give me a name of a store, a retail store, any retail store.
Hollister.
Hollister. All right, cool. We'll rock with Hollister. Cali Chads are here. Our West Coast Chads are in the building. So when you are working at Hollister as a sales representative, right? Is your job to drive traffic through the door? Yeah, you can already
No.
smell it, right? Maybe if you're the person who like sprays the freaking cologne in gallons, like they probably don't even spray, they probably just dump it all over the floor, right? But if your job is to do that, maybe in a way it's your job, right? That's part of the reason why people walk in that store, like, where's that smell coming from, right? So it's a reason to get people outside, inside. But in general, no, it's not your job to help people get through the door. What is your job as a sales rep at Hollister? Retail employee at Hollister. What is your job?
Help the customers.
That are help the customers that are what?
They're
Which
looking to
customers?
purchase something.
The ones that are standing in front of you, right? They say, hey, come clock in at 9 o'clock when we open the store. And then I want you to help the customers that show up in here, right? And so a lot of people have the misconception with real estate that that's how it works, right? They get a job at a real estate firm and then they just sit there and somebody's going to walk in the door and want to buy a house. Somebody's going to call them, or somebody's going to hand them a deal and says, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith really want to go see Main Street today at 3 o'clock. We scheduled a showing. Can you go open the door for them? That's not how this works. It's not how it works on the investment side either. Wholesaling, investing, any kind of deal you do in real estate, what people truly forget is that the acquisition of the deal, the acquisition of the client is your job too. You got to wear all the hats. You got to drive the customer through the door. You got to convert the customer once they're there. And then you have to service the customer throughout the transaction. You got to wear all those hats. And a lot of people just are really not committed to doing that. If it was as simple as somebody handing them a client and saying, go show the house, maybe they would be about it. Maybe not as many people would quit. But commitment is the number one breaking point. And that's typically what I see behind the commitment is they're just like, yeah, I didn't realize what it was going to take. Is it rocket science on how to do this? No. We've got you covered there. We've got the blueprints. But the first part is they're not committed. They really don't want to do what it takes to make this happen. They're not willing to put the effort, the dedication in, not just up front one day, but consistently over time to see traction. Because we're building a business. What's breaking point number 2, do you think? Somebody's committed. Why does the committed still fail? It's not discipline. I'm going to wrap commitment and discipline all in one. Let's say the person's committed, they're disciplined. They're willing to put in the work. They're in it for the long haul. Why do they still fail and usually end up quitting very quickly? What's breaking point number 2, do you guys think? Oh, close, Natalia. Very close. Not quite it. Conversation. I'm not sure what that one means. The market. No, it's not the market. No, it's not expectations. Not used to failing or falling off and getting back on the horse. Kind of in a way, but not really. I put that one more under, excuse me, under the commitment thing. Are they committed to getting on the horse, staying on the horse, getting back on it when they get bucked off? Not knowing how to communicate. Oh, that's what you mean. No, it's not that. It's not the conversations, waiting on the phone to ring, overwhelmed. You guys are getting close with some of these. Really, really close. So I'll tell you. Yeah, the faith and persistence, baby. That's all you need, but really, you do need something else in the real estate game. You need something to apply that faith and persistence to, right? Which is activities. So the number one reason people fail is they're not truly committed to doing what it takes. The second breaking point is they don't know what it takes. They don't know which activities they need to be doing to see results, to start to land one client, let alone stuff this pipeline full of opportunities, clients to go help, deals to close. Right? Think about your average agent, guys. Your average agent doesn't have anything like this right here. Okay. This is why it's so unique. And this is why we talk so much about reach out to us, because there's so much we can do to help you that you will not find anywhere else. Yeah, direction's a good way to put it. I call it the blueprint. They don't have a blueprint. So what do? They go out there and they just try a bunch of different stuff. So I'm going to make an analogy to fishing here. Let's say you wanted to catch fish. All right. And everybody knows that it fishing, it takes a little bit of time and commitment too. So some people just aren't willing to do what it takes to go fishing and actually see results with it. But let's say you are committed. All right. Nobody's there. You don't have a fishing guide. You don't have anybody helping you. It's up to you to figure this out. Which rod do you use? Which reel should you use? You guys ever walk down the fishing aisle? Like with all the fishing gear at a store before? See how much crap is down that aisle, man? It's like one of the most, like if you got OCD, bro, you probably don't want to walk down the fishing gear aisle because there's so much stuff there. There's so many different types of lines, different tests and poundages, different colors. You've got all these different lures. You got all these different like baits. You've got baits that smell. You got baits that are plastic. You got baits that are hard. You got baits that are soft. You got baits that make noises. You got baits that float. You got baits that sink. You got 15 million different hooks to choose from. Like, how do you know which one's going to work? I'd watch a YouTube video. Well, that's why we're here. Exactly. Right? Give you guys the knowledge. We put it out there, baby. But there is so much stuff. And then not just do you have the right equipment, but where the heck are the fish? Do you go to a pond? Which pond? Do you go to a lake? Which lake? Where's the lake at? Which part of the lake do you go to? Do you need a boat? Or can you do it from the bank? Do you need to get a canoe or a kayak or like a fishing boat? Do you need to like get to a certain side? Do you need to know what time of day do you go? When are the fish biting? Where are the fish? Right. You need guidance on what to do. And this industry doesn't offer it to you. If it's offered to you, most of the time you're going to pay a ton of money for it. Like, I'll just straight up give you my example, and I'm not going to bash anybody here because I still had a good experience starting this business. But where I started, they claimed to have the best training, not of just the best guidance, right? Like we're talking about here, of any company in any industry, not just the best real estate brokerage training, but the best training of any company in any industry. Some of y'all have heard me talk about this before, I think. What was it? It was 15 classes. 15 classes of very 101 stuff like, hey, here's how you tie the hook on the line. Hey, if you want to catch a bass, you should use a bass lure.
Spinning lure, baby.
You should go to a freshwater lake. Well, no shit kind of stuff, right? It's 101. And when I got through with that, and it was still good, great information. When you get through with that, if you wanted higher level training, it was very expensive. It was offered, but you had to pay for it, and it was very, very expensive. Alamosa, Colorado. We have a live referral right now, guys. Need a client, or client needs a buyer agent, excuse me. So if you want to help a buyer buy a property in Alamosa, Colorado, let us know right now. We have that. We can lock that in literally live for you right now. So shoot us a DM. Throw it in the YouTube chat. Hey, I'm DMing you too. We'll grab it. But that's the truth of the industry, man. And a lot of places don't even offer that. I was talking with somebody the other day. I don't remember who it was. But like their brokerage doesn't offer training unless the agent goes to him and says, hey, I need help with this or that. Like, what? And guys, I'm not just talking about training. I'm really talking about beyond training, because training will teach you some stuff. But I'm talking about a blueprint. I mean, like a map. that shows you, it says, look, you need to grab this. I'm going to keep with my fishing analogy here. Grab this type of rod, grab this type of line. If you go to this place, they'll already have it set up for you. Tie this hook onto it, put this bait on it, and go drop it in the water at this location. Here are the GPS coordinates. That's what I mean. Because you could still be in a position where you're getting good training and they're telling you to cold call. Okay, great. Guess what? The blueprint that we give that is going to have the most effective activities that you could possibly do to grow your business right now in 2024, we give to all of our agents. Cold calling's on it. Pretty much every single brokerage is going to tell you to cold call. It's a great way to go generate business, especially if you need money now, especially if you're starting in the business. That's how I got my first deal closed. I got an expired listing that I cold called. We sold the house. My first few deals were all from cold calling. There's people that sell 50, 100 plus homes a year, and all they do is cold call. But what do you say when you get on the phone? It's not just what time do you cold call. I think you can cold call at any time. Same kind of thing with fishing. Like, is there better times when fish are biting? Yes. Yeah. But, dude, you can catch a fish anytime. You never know. You can cold call as long as it's, I would say, between 8 and 8, right? Don't call them before 8 a.m. Don't call them after 8 p.m. Just piss people off. But outside of that, go buck wild, man. You never know when is going to be a good time to catch that person. For some people, it's going to be in the morning because they work third shift. For other people, it's going to be don't call me till after 4 because I'm at work all day. For some people, they don't have a more scheduled job. So maybe you need to catch them in the middle of, just every person's going to be different. So you never know. But I'm talking about, like, what do you say when you're on the phone? Like, what is the conversation to have when you go have a cold conversation that is going to result in a lead, in a deal, in an appointment, in a client? So those are the two breaking points, guys. Most people are not committed. And then number two, they don't know what to do. And they don't know how to do. So what activities and how to perform the activities in a way that's going to translate into business. And fairly quickly too, right? Like, I think most people have heard at some point by the time they get their license in hand that they're not going to get paid day one. It's going to take a little bit of time for you to get your first deal closed before you see that first paycheck. But how much time are they willing to hang in for? Can we get you a win quickly? When we work with brand new agents here in the herd, you know what our number one goal is for them? Really, whatever their goal is. But outside of that, our number one goal is to get them a win as quickly as possible. To get them a paycheck as fast as possible. I think right now our record's like 35 days, which is kind of insane if you think about it. Because most escrows are going to take 30 to 40 days to close. They had 35 days from the date they got their license and activated it with the firm. They closed their first deal, got paid. Super, super fast. Now, that's not the average, but that's the record. The average in the industry, man, is, well, what do you guys think? Actually, I'm kind of curious. Maybe this will give us even a better idea of what your expectations are. What do you think the average is? Somebody gets a license today, hang their license with a brokerage today. The average agent in the U.S., how long is it going to take before they get their first paycheck? Tulsa, Oklahoma. Speaking of getting you wins quickly, we have one right now. And if you reach out to us quickly, we can lock it in. If you're an agent that services Tulsa, Oklahoma, we got a client here for you. I see 3 to 4 months on Zoom, 6 months, 5, 6, 3 months. Give me some more data points here. What the rest of y'all think? 3 months?
I'd say 120 days. So about 4 months.
4 months, okay. 4 months again on Zoom, 60 to 90 days. Johnny says 1 year.
Everybody's different. Depends how bad you want it.
What do you think the average is, though, in the industry?
From what I hear, it's 6 months to maybe a year. I heard that some people don't even get their first listing until like 3 years into the game.
Yep.
That's
Dude, I
crazy.
remember when I told Josh So it's kind of funny. Josh Answers told me to get my license, right? When I came back to him and said I got my first listing, he was like flabbergasted. He didn't know what to say. He's like, dude, it takes a lot of agents years to do that with an S on it, like you said, man, multiple years before they ever get their first listing. And I'm like, what? What'd you say? Years? Yeah. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
most of y'all are saying like 3 to 4 months, 3 to 6 months.
Dude,
Couple
I
of
feel
y'all said a
like
year.
I keep getting this question too, man. But like honestly, like the question of hey, what's the average for your first year agent? Like I got that question twice today, but you know what I think the real answer is? I think it's 0. I think that's your average first year agent is 0. Think about it.
Yep. That's what I was going to tell you guys. Some of y'all said up to a year. The truth is, for most people, it's going to take them about a year to close a deal. Maybe a little longer. Now you've got a pretty solid percentage that will close 1 to 2 deals. There's a large bucket there that will close 1, 2, maybe 3. So I'd say the biggest bucket is 0 deals their first year. The next biggest bucket is 1 to 3 in the first 12 months. Does that change your guys' confidence or excitement level at all? You guys feeling depressed and deflated right now?
No.
I know you guys who have the licenses already aren't, because you guys are in it. You guys are seeing some different stuff.
Hey, you know what? I saw something today. Hold on. Let me share my screen here. I saw something related to this today. I just pulled it up.
Rob, you just said you're the average? Well, dude, let's not be.
Don't be average, man. We about to get clapped if we're gonna be average here. We can't do that.
That's literally what we do. We change the statistics, guys. We change these
so check this
averages
out,
where you
dude.
they do not have to apply to you.
Check this out. This is from Inman, man. Fresh off the press.
Yep.
How do y'all feel about this? Keep in mind, this isn't new agents. This is all agents, not new agents, all agents.
Yo, that is crazy. There's no way.
It's 100% correct. Last year, I haven't seen the 23 stats yet, but in 2022, more than 80% of agents sold 4 homes or less. It was like 85 or 87% of agents who have a license, not just new ones, all licensees, north of 80% of them sold 4 homes or less in 2022. That stat did not get better in 2023. There were less transactions.
I think it sounds like some people were not being as proactive, because I feel like if you want the business, you can get it. You know, there's many ways to get in it, whether it's cold calling, whether it's door knocking, whether it's, hosting events, whatever it is.
Correct. I agree with you. If you really want it, the business is there. There is
But it's
not a lack of opportunity. There's a lack of people who are willing to go to freaking work, and there's a lack of real valuable guidance on how to go do these things. Because again, what happens, man? People get in this business, and even if they have some training, some guidance, dude, it's not giving them the sauce. It's like this high level, like very generic or very generalized, thing that they're being taught to go do. Like, hey, you should cold call, and you should cold call all your friends, and you should ask them if they know anybody that wants to buy or sell a house. You should cold call for sell by owners, and they give you this script. Like, you guys have seen the scripts. Go freaking look at them if you haven't. They all suck. So no wonder they don't work. So what happens is people get in, confidence level is high, even if they are dedicated, even if they really do want the business, like you're saying, Xavier, they start to put in these hours of work without real guidance on how to effectively use that time. and then they don't see results, and then so the defeat becomes even worse. Like what would you guys rather have? Would you rather know you're not going to close any deals the first year and go to work and spend the time, and then, you know, maybe year 2 you start to see some results? Or would you rather have the optimism that you're going to close some deals your first year, go put in all the work, and then not see the results? Like, which one would defeat you more? Which one would be harder to deal with? Probably the one where you're putting in all the work and you're expecting to see a result, and then you don't. And that's the truth. That's what's happening to these agents, guys. They're putting in the work. They're expecting to see results. They're expecting to see clients land, deals close, and they don't. So what do? And maybe some people, and this is true, but maybe for some of them, it's, hey, you know what? I don't want to do it for as long as it takes. I don't want to build my skill set. I don't want to get good at this activity. I don't want to spend time on task getting better at this and doing it consistently enough to even see a result. But for other people, man, they just, like, they quit way too fast. They don't even give it a chance. Like, if let's take any activity in the world you want to, you probably need to go do it for not just a day or a week or a month, but for multiple months before you can really assess if that has even, like, begin to even assess if that is going to be an effective activity for you. Is that going to drive business? Because you guys know about the lag, right? It's like a 90-day lag. So you need to go do something for 90 days before you can even see if that's going to lead to results or not. So when somebody goes and tries an activity for a week or 2 weeks or a month or 2 months, and they're like, man, I didn't get any deals from this, what do? Do they keep doing that same activity? No. They stop. They go to Google or YouTube or to somebody else in the business that they see closing deals, and they hear somebody say, I do this. I don't cold call. So maybe let's just give you an example. And I'm not saying any of these are good or bad. Okay. I'm just using these as examples. Say somebody gets told to cold call. They cold call for 2 months, never get a deal. They're like, all right, cold calling doesn't work. Let me go find something else. And they come across an agent online or in person, wherever the heck it is. And that agent tells them, oh, I've never cold called in my life. All I do is run Facebook ads. So what does that person do? They stop cold calling and they go try Facebook ads. Well, then they don't do that for long enough to see results. And if it's Facebook ads, they're spending money on that one now too, right? And then they say, oh, this one doesn't work either. What do? They find a new, I call this shiny object syndrome, guys. Shiny object syndrome. It happens with people who want to get their license, right? They're like, oh, real estate license, shiny. I just get this and I make money, right? Not the case. You got to go to work. But behind that, there's shiny object syndrome in the industry too, when it comes to lead generation strategies. Oh, this one's going to work. This one's going to make you all the money. And so they try a bunch of different things, a bunch of different ways, and they don't see results with any of them. You need to have many lines in the water. I agree. You need to have a well-rounded business. You shouldn't rely on just one source of business. But the problem is like somebody goes and throws a line in the water and they didn't have it hooked up right. They didn't have the right bait on there. They didn't put it in the right place of the water, or they put it in there when the fish weren't around, or whatever, right? They didn't hit it. They didn't hit the nail on the head with how they did that. And the next thing you know, they're going and saying, all right, this doesn't work. And they throw a line in the water somewhere else, a completely different type of line. You're not even giving yourself a chance to truly diagnose, okay, is this working? Is it not? And the point is, guys, you don't need to diagnose it. All right. It's already been diagnosed. We know what works. There's no experimentation required. That's the best word for this. Agents experiment with a bunch of lead generation strategies. They never stick with any of them. They just experiment. And normally they're not even holding a good experiment. There's no need to experiment. We've already done the experiments for years and years and years and years. We know what works. We've dialed in the processes behind these activities. We've built relationships with people that have done these activities and gotten results in a bigger way than you are even dreaming of creating for yourself right now. We can skip that part. I'm not about shortcuts, but I am about skipping over experimentation because it's bullshit. You don't need to experiment, guys. The blueprint exists, the formula exists on how to get the clients and then how to get the result for the client too. Because I think that plays into it as well. People aren't confident. That's why you're not getting deals at the beginning. You're like, oh, can I really do this? I'm telling this person I'm going to sell their house for $500,000. Can I really pull that off? Hell yeah, you can. There's a formula for it. No experimentation needed. Blueprints that you can follow. Yes. But yeah, Nadim, we kind of took that one and ran with it. Did you have a specific question or something else you wanted to talk with that?
No, I'm just grateful that we talked about it because it's been a topic in my mind. I mean, to be transparent, I'm one of those agents that has been in the industry for a little over a year, but ever since joining this past month, it's been the accountability and the blueprint has been like no other. And I actually have hope. I don't know if you remember on the other call, I said hopeful. Like I genuinely feel hopeful. And the one thing that has kept me in it is knowing that I'm not going to quit. And so, yeah, I'm just grateful to see that there's so much opportunity and that faith will take you a very long way.
So I'm not lying to him when I say this?
Absolutely not. I kind of was initially like, could it really be that good? But yeah, it's I hope I make it to Pablo. I need to meet you guys in person.
Let's get you out there, bro. But you like Nadim, this is perfect because Nadim is literally someone that's lived both of these places already. Now he hasn't had a ton of time. He's only been running with us for a month, a little over a month, but he's got over a year in the business. Most of it was in a situation like I described most agents being in, man. You know, he was getting a typical situation or a typical result from a typical situation. Go ahead.
One person, one opportunity is all it takes. All it takes to change everything around, to turn everything around. So that's why I have so much faith, and I know that one principle that has been very very key to me leaving college and having so much faith in this is that the people are out there and you're exactly where you need to be. So, you know, when we had those calls, me, you, and Tyler, it was just like, man, this is out there. You know, only I mean, three agents here in El Paso, so it kind of initially was discouraging to me that the team is all over the world, but that now is just like so cool to me. There's so much to offer.
Yeah, there's more opportunity comes with it that way. Having people all over the map and different places in the business, different places in the world. So much of a blessing, honestly. But yeah, dude, it's one of those things. It's like, man, it sounds too good to be true, but you know, that's kind of like it's a good thing in a way because it's kind of a filter because we're looking for the right people to do this with. Because if you're someone that's just looking for the shortcut, like what's the easy way out? Like how can I? And I'm not like against trying to be efficient. Okay, I'm the first person to say, hey, how can we do it with less work? Right? How can we do the least amount of work possible, invest the least to get the biggest return? Right? That's what attracted me to this community to begin with, actually, through options contracts. I'd never heard of an option contract or the ability to lower your risk and define it so well and to have such an exponential potential return from that. That's what attracted me to this community in the first place and led to me getting told by Josh to go get your freaking real estate license. So we kind of operate in the same way because our blueprint, it's not 80 hours a week. It's not 90 hours a week. It's a lot less than that. It's not even 40 hours a week. It's not even half that, actually. But there is no shortcut when it comes to doing the work. You still have to show up and you have to do the work. So if you're someone that's like, all right, you know what? I just want a handout. I just want to like make one or two small moves and, you know, have a bunch of things happen in my favor. That's not the way this works. Like, I think Nadim's in the gym right now. Like, it's a good way to looking at it, right? Like, You can't fake that. Like if somebody's in good shape, they didn't fake that. There was no shortcut to it. There's no magic pill that's going to give you a six-pack. There's no magic pill that's going to blow your arms up. The only way to get that is by putting a lot of freaking work in. The same thing is true for real estate. The same thing is true for what we do here in real estate. It's just that, like, hey, if you're going to go do this, like, do you want to put 87 octane in your car, or would you rather put some freaking jet fuel in that thing? If you're going to drive, if you're going to get behind the wheels or behind the sticks in the plane and you're going to drive anyways, do you want to do that like with a horse and buggy, or would you rather do that with like an F-22? That's the people who this is going to work for. That's the people that are going to have the experience that you're hearing Nadeem talk about. It's not that like, dude, we can just give you a handout and change your life and everything's going to get better. But if you're ready to go, if you're ready to put in the freaking work, we can help you do that in a bigger way than you can ever do it on your own. And that's what the collaborations really comes into play, because it's not how, it's who. Boca, baby. Speaking of beautiful places, beautiful place in Florida needs some help. Boca Raton, Deerfield Beach. We got a commercial client needs an agent here. So if you guys cover Boca or Deerfield and you can help this client out with the commercial property, hit us up right now.
Commercial opportunity coming through today. Look at that.
Oh, I'm by Boca. I don't do commercial, but I mean, I'll learn.
Give him a call, Urbano. You should be on game with that. Did you see that one?
I'm gonna call him now.
Let's get it.
Put it on speaker. Let's hear it.
Wait, how do I do that? I'm on my phone.
Oh, you're on your phone. Okay, don't worry about it. Just call the agent.
Okay.
Report back to us at least.
Yeah, I will. I'll come back.
Yeah, the F-350. Like, guys, if you want to haul something, you can do that with your Honda Prius? Probably not. The Prius won't even let you merge. It won't let you haul things either, okay? The 350, which I'm not a huge fan of the F, but a truck with hauling capability, that's going to be the vehicle you want. And that's what we're able to do with the collaboration here, with the blueprints, with the resources, the tools, the overall opportunity. We're able to help you guys see traction and results in your business, whether it's going from 0 to your first deal close, whether it's from going from 5 million to 10 million in production, whether it's from going as a single agent to growing your team or your brokerage or whatever it is you want to do. We can help you in the biggest way. We've got the blueprints, we've got the network, we've got the overall opportunity. You just got to reach out to us. We'll start the conversation. Nadeem talked about us getting on calls. If you're in the business and it's really time for us to, we will jump on a call with you for free. Give you our time. But
got to get around people that believe in you.
Amen. That's part of it too, man. Like, who believes in you in your traditional real estate office, let's call it? Your broker? Your broker believes in you, and honestly, he probably doesn't either, or she, because he knows the stats.
They better believe in you. I mean, what are you doing if not?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the being in a positive environment with people that not just believe in what we're doing, but believe that you can too. That's huge. And better yet, not just believe, but what if they had a fucking incentive to help you turn that belief into reality? Because that absolutely you won't find. You won't find that in this industry. But yeah, what else you guys want to talk about? We're going down the route with this. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to mention, because you were saying, like, what does that mean now? Right? So we talked a lot about this. I don't know if I brought it full circle or not, but now a lot of those agents are gone. Most of the agents who got licensed during this period of time were COVID, lockdowns, stimulus checks, when you didn't have to go to your traditional job, or you had the time to pursue these other opportunities, or people were having these big dreams of setting themselves up forever. The people who got licensed and had poor expectations or commitment, they're gone now. Most of them are out of the business already. And more are leaving now. So I think the most recent stat I heard is there's like, it's over 100, but I think it's close to 200 agents a day. 200 agents a day are leaving this business. I heard that stat within the past like month or two. That's a very recent stat. I just told you why. I just told you why. So his first 2 breaking points. They haven't had enough time to get to breaking points 3 and 4.
Dang. So it's like kind of like document like the street food.
But yeah, what else do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, what else?
Wide open for y'all.
Oh damn! I didn't know they had that there. Like China, are you by like Chinatown and stuff? Is there a Chinatown?
You want to talk about? I mean, shoot, I'm gonna give it to Zoom here. Zoom. Hey, we came through. We made the commitment. We're here right now. What's gonna help you take your business to the next level? I know
Probably in the state right there.
most of y'all in the Zoom are in the business, so what y'all want to dive into here?
They're like, oh, you got money?
I want to say follow-ups, to be honest. How to consistently, or what's the best way to be following up with clients? Is it just by what you spoke on the phone in the moment and try to complete tasks for them, or
How are you following up right now? What are you currently doing?
not very well, and that's what I know I'm lacking in my business, is not doing good follow-ups. And I take notes, have conversation with people and everything, but I'm starting now to try to put them in a system on my computer or whatnot where it's automatically trying to, or I put in notes in a sense and try to set it up on a schedule where it tells me to follow up with them.
So when you say my follow-up's not good, are you saying I'm following up, but it's not a good conversation, or we're not following up and that's why it's not good?
Yeah, not following up, and that's why it's not good. Because the ones I have, I mean, even the ones I have followed up with, they're also not good conversations. Like I lose track of what exactly I'm calling about.
So when you call, give me the last person or a recent one that you can remember, to the best of your memory. When
Yeah,
you
I mean,
followed up with them, like, what did you say? What was the reason for the call? What did you talk about?
Yeah, I called the last listing that I was trying to have and just tried to see what he had going on with his home, see if he corrected the few things that he had to get done on the property itself with the title and stuff. And see, I mean, basically just follow up with him and try to see where he's at in the process, or where he's at with everything. But the conversation, in a sense, he told me that he hasn't done anything. He's not really interested in wanting us do anything since he says he has everything already done. He doesn't understand the additional steps that need to be taken, and just left it at that.
Got you. So let's take this one for example. It's FSBO expired. What was it?
It was a FSBO. I mean, it wasn't. I was a FSBO listing expired because I ended up getting it and it expired or whatnot, or I ended up taking it off the market.
It was your listing?
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't FSBO. It was a FSBO initially, and then you got the listing?
Yeah.
Okay,
then I
so
got
FSBO to listed with Christian to they pulled it off the market, and then you followed up with them?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did they pull off the market? To do some repairs or something to the property, you said?
No, title. There's title issues that it couldn't clear, needing more signatures, and what was the biggest thing? Probates, I think they're called.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
When you pulled it off, did they know what they needed to get done to solve the issue?
Yeah. I had them in contact with lawyers and everything.
Good. Did you know roughly, and did they know roughly how long to expect this process to take?
The attorney that I spoke to said it could have been done in 3 to 6 months, but that most likely within over a year it would take to get everything completely finished. But
Okay.
the seller had told me that he wasn't going to do anything.
So this is definitely a unique one, but that's the key. I think that's why I'm asking you. So when you have someone as a prospect or as a client here in this situation,
Mhm.
it's all about setting an expectation for what the next step's going to be on the initial conversation. So when you say, how do I follow up better? It actually starts with how you talk to them the first time you talk to them. So if I'm having a conversation with you today, Christian, I'm going to figure out your timeline and your motivation. If your timeline is I'm going to do something in the next 90 days, then there is no need for follow-up. We're setting the appointment or we're not.
Okay.
Now, is there something too like, hey, I didn't close, right? I need to try to hit up Christian again. Yeah, sure, absolutely. We don't just quit unless, I mean, sometimes if I decide Christian is not someone I even want to work with, then I won't continue to pursue that. But, you know, do we quit and stop pursuing? No. But in general, it's time to set the appointment right now. Otherwise, there's a reason why the time is not now. There's a reason why we would follow up at all. Because if the time is now, then that means we need to overcome an objection, not follow up. If the time is not now, then we need to follow up. And it's not really follow up, it's follow through on things. So it all starts with the initial conversation and doing one of two things. You're setting an expectation for what the next step is going to be, and it's either for them to do something or for you to do something. All right, you're going to go paint the house and do this or that. You're going to talk to that other person in the family that needs to, you know, file the quit claim for this to be a clean title. You're going to talk to your lender and get some things worked on financing. Or maybe it's you. Hey, I'm going to go pull some listings. I'm going to go pull some comps. I'm going to go find a good attorney to connect you to. I'm going to go do something of value for you. So either they're doing something that's going to get them closer to the result they want, or you are doing something for them. And the key is to set the expectation of when you are going to be reaching back out to them. I don't like the word follow-up. I don't like telling clients, you know, I'm going to follow up with you. I like telling people I'm going to do X and then going and doing X. Sometimes you don't even have to tell them. You could just tell them, hey, you know what? I'm going to work on a couple of things with that. And I'm going to circle back with you in about a week. Cool. When I circle back with them in a week, I've over-delivered. So like there's a really powerful thing you guys can do, which is under-promise and over-deliver. Never do the opposite. Never tell people you're going to do a lot of stuff and then do a little. Tell them you're going to do a little and then end up doing a lot. You want to surprise them with value. So when you set the expectation, don't set too high of expectations. Just set an expectation of what the next step's going to be, and maybe even when the next time you guys are going to connect is, and then follow through on that item.
Yeah. Like even
does that make sense?
Like if the white person comes up.
Yep. Yes, it does. It's reminding me of other conversations that I've had with people and follow-ups that I've done. And yeah, that's definitely something that you got to do, over deliver.
And now in a situation like you're talking about with this one client, this is a big issue that has a long process inherently, but there's going to be a lot of checkpoints and milestones and little jobs that have to be completed for the big job to get done. And so you kind of break that down. So like, for example, they might be in the middle of this process and it's like, okay, I need my aunt to get in touch with the attorney. That's the next thing we need to make happen. We need to make that meeting happen. Okay, cool. So I'm not like calling her up. Hey, did you get this thing done yet? You ready to sell it again? No, now I'm reaching back out. Hey, was the aunt? I was just calling to see were your aunt and the attorney able to have a conversation. Right. So you kind of break it down into checkpoints. If it's a big timeline thing that you're needing to work through with this person and why you need to follow up, break it down into checkpoints. Now your checkpoints become the reason for touches, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, that's the other thing I know I had in mind, that I've been told and told bigger numbers, but that it requires of a good amount of touches with people in general, and that's what I wanted. Like, how do you continue following up? So that's all what you said. Is
so
perfect.
again, so like let's talk about that, right? It's not like someone you're actively working with, and it's not someone that there has like the timeline is now. I think that's your question. Hey, when the timeline is now, they want to sell a home right now, but I didn't get the appointment set. I didn't close. How do I continue to follow up? Because yeah, like in general, man, it's going to take 5, 6, 7 touches before someone's ready to do business with you. Right. But if you think about it, one touch could be that you called them. The next touch could be that you ran an appointment. The next touch is that you talked to them about the landscaping. Like 5, 6, 7 touches. Finally, now we have the house listed. So it can look like that too. Like don't sell yourself that all these obstacles are between you and business. Okay. Because they're really not. But yes, for your person that, hey, I want to sell my home right now, or I'm going to sell it this, next month, whatever, right? The timeline's in the next 90 days. That's where I draw the line. And they're not agreeing to an appointment or to do business with you today. Why would you follow up with them?
Yeah, you're not a white girl. You're good.
That's what you got to ask yourself. Why would I talk to them again? You have to ask yourself that question, because when you find the answer to it, then you find the reason for the reach out.
White people there?
And I'll tell you that answer is located when you figure out what else they want besides selling the house. Because you feel frustrated and it feels difficult to follow up right now because you're probably just calling them, asking them the same question again. You asked them if they would list with you. You asked them if they would have an appointment with you. They said no. And now you're calling. I'm just following up to see if you're ready to have the appointment that you already told me you don't want to have. That's why that doesn't feel good, and that's why that conversation isn't productive. So you have to ask yourself, other than asking them for the business again, other than being the kid in the candy store that just keeps asking mom, can I have the chocolate bar? No. Mom, can I have the chocolate bar? No. Mom, can I have the chocolate bar? No, because nobody likes that, right? You have to figure out what is something else that would be a good reason that I can use here to follow up. So again, it's located when you figure out something other than selling the house. Of course they want to sell the house. It's a FSBO. They have it listed right now, just not with an agent. Of course they want to sell the house. It's an expired listing. They had it on the market for a while. It just didn't sell. But what else do they want? What else do they need? Where are they moving to? Right? So like take an investor for an example, or take a buyer for an example. Because most people, when they sell a property, they're going to take that money and buy something else, even if it's not another piece of real estate. What are they going to do with that money, man?
Getting paid just to drive in California. Shit.
Maybe it's just like helping them figure out where they're going to buy. Maybe it's like, hey, you know what? Last time we were talking, you were telling me that you were looking in the Orlando area. You wanted to move, from, the what do you guys call it? The lakes area over there.
Yeah.
Something lakes, right?
Something, or like Eustis.
Like I want to move from there, and I want to be in downtown Orlando. Okay, cool. So they're in a market. What I'm trying to do is just pick 2 spots, right? They're going to move from one spot, sell, and buy in another one, but it's still in your market coverage area, right? It's like, okay, perfect. You're going to help them with both then. And maybe it's not in your area. Maybe they're going to sell in your area. They're going to move across the freaking country. Hey, I'm calling you because last time we talked, you wanted to sell here in Charlotte and move to Orlando. I have a phenomenal person in Orlando I've got to connect you with. He was actually telling me about some new construction communities. I know you mentioned that you guys were looking to buy a brand new home, right? So this is what I mean by under promising and over delivering. You may not even tell them you're going to go do this for them. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But then you just go do it.
Sacramento Kings.
Hey, I've got it. How about this one, Christian? I've got an offer for you. When can I come over and review it with you? You guys know you can go get an offer for every property on the market right now, right? You can find somebody that's going to make some sort of offer on that property. Does that mean it's going to be a really solid one? No. But what do all the FSBOs tell you to do anyways? Bring me an offer. All right, cool. Why don't we just go do what they asked us to do? That'd be a great reason for following up, right? That'd probably be a more productive conversation. So my point is get creative, figure out what do they want, where are they going, and then go bring them that. That can, if you do that, man, these follow-up calls turn from follow-up calls to follow-through calls. Hey, you know what? I told you last time we spoke, I was going to see if I could find a couple of properties in this area that kind of match what you said you were looking for. I wanted to follow through with you on that. Got a few. When can we sit down and review these properties together? Here's the mistake that you're going to make. You're going to take this info. So let's just say somebody wanted to buy. We'll use the same example. They're selling and they want to buy another property. And so you bring this follow through, right? And then you're like, hey, I got these properties. And they're like, okay, cool. Here's my email. Send them over. And you're like, okay, cool. I'll do it. And then they're like, all right, awesome. Thanks. Bye. Guess what? Now you're in the same situation again with one less reason that you could follow up with them. You just handed out that she's, and they didn't have to step in the trap for it. So go create the value and then make them meet with you to get it. You wanted the appointment. If the timeline's now, because that's the question, right? The clients were the timeline's now. I want the appointment. They won't have it with me. Go get something they want, follow through on that, and then ask them when's a good time that you can give that to them.
I heard they got some MVPs and
Now you got the appointment. Otherwise, you're just going to be back to following up again.
Yeah, that made me reminded me of a client that I have. Not even a client, but it's same thing. It's expired. They're wanting to sell, but buy in the same area. They're wanting to sell just to have a newer house, newer kitchen, modern everything. But they've been back and forth on just remodeling their place.
Perfect. So here's what you do. Like when you say back and forth on remodeling, like do they want to remodel or not, kind of thing?
Yeah, that the last 2 times that I've spoken to them, it's been that they're wanting to get quotes or at least got quotes. That was before Christmas. That they had gotten quotes in a sense, and they wanted to get another person to come out, but they are also looking. They kind of explained to me what they're looking for, so they're wanting to go that way. But then in the same conversation, they're telling me the same thing, not something they want to do, because the husband said that the house at the end of the day someone else would like it, and why destroy it and do work to it if they could just move.
Exactly. So here's the truth. 2 things. Number 1, they haven't found a place they felt fallen in love with yet. That's your job. Go find the perfect new construction home that checks every single box for them. Watch how fast they decide, we don't need to upgrade this, honey. Let's just get this house because it's going to be gone if we don't. Somebody else is going to come buy it. So that's one piece. They haven't fallen in love with something yet. When you guys are trying to figure out how do I follow up, especially with these listing prospects, and get them to freaking do business with me and sell, go find them exactly what they wanted and watch how fast they freaking move. Oh, I'm not in a rush. Oh, I'm not in any hurry. Cool. Where are you going after you sell this? Well, we would really love blah, 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 blah. Awesome. I just took some notes. I'm going to go find that for you. Bring it to them. They're going to be like, dang, Christian, this is exactly what we've been looking for. How did you find this? Oh, that's what I do. Okay, great. Well, is there any way you could probably help us sell this property now too? Because we're going to need to sell this in order to buy that. So that's piece of it. They haven't found what they really wanted. The other half of it is like, dude, they don't really want to do the work. Like if they really wanted to do the work and get the like updates or whatever it is made, like they would have done it. They don't really want to do it. They're just thinking, okay, well, how can we maximize the amount of money we can get from this property? But that really doesn't matter either. Like, yes, they want to make as much money as possible, but what's more important than that is making enough money to get them exactly what they want when they get where they're going. So if you can bring them what they want and then show them how they can get the amount of money they need to make all of that happen, now you have a client. Because nobody wants you to list their home for them, Christian. Nobody wants you to represent them. Nobody wants you to negotiate on their behalf. And you're going to do all those things for your clients, but that's not what they want. What do they want, Christian? They want you to... Well, go ahead. What?
I was going to say the result. I want you to get them.
They want you to bring them that result. To be more specific, they don't just want the result. They want somebody to go out there and make it happen for them.
Just him?
You do that, follow-up becomes very easy. Client acquisition becomes very easy.
Papa bitch isn't there anymore, is he?
We had another question here in the chat, Mr. Razor. What's up, baby?
I mean,
How
you
can
can't
agents
hold the
stand out from
dynasty,
other
dude.
agents?
Just like
Good
the
question
Patriots.
there.
Patriots fell off the map.
Good question.
Well, there's a lot of ways to answer this, and you know, with that, there's a lot of different things that one could do to stand out. But first thing that comes to mind to me that probably wouldn't come to mind to every single
And here's
person
a
would be
crazy one in
outwork
California.
the other
6
agents.
bedroom, 4 bath.
Can you outwork the other agents?
2,900 square feet, only 217,000.
Can you out lead generate the other agents? Can you put more time, energy, and effort in? Can you care
There's the
more
last sale
when
they
you
had
have
over
conversations with people?
500,000 for this house. And they're selling it for 217 right now.
That's
a
one
big
way to
piece.
stand out.
That's
Yeah,
all.
I know. I talked to somebody recently.
That's the
I don't remember who this was.
real
It was a few
thing.
months back.
These houses are
But they didn't
crazy.
get the listing.
Riverside, California.
And the reason they didn't get the
5 bedroom, 3
listing, they
bath,
found out was, man, we loved you,
690,000.
but this other person just wanted it more. They just came in here and they just freaking wanted it more. So
Yeah.
that person then went out on their next, like, I don't know, 5,
Yeah, I have
10,
the whole map from Los
20
Angeles
listing
all the
appointments.
way out to
And they just wanted it more than anybody else.
past Riverside.
They
San
straight up told the
Bernardino
clients that
National
too.
Forest.
Look, I need this business. I want this business. I am going to go to the moon and back to get you the best freaking result. They just made it extremely abundantly clear that they would do whatever it takes and then some to get the result for this client. And they will not stop at anything short of that.
Oh, that's real close to LA.
And that's what got them the business. Not just on the next appointment, but dude, they went like 10 for 10 on their next 10 listing appointments. Nailed every single one of them. Just off of that alone. That was the only thing they changed in any part of their process.
There's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath for 600 grand. 3 bedroom, 2 bath.
But you got to show people that too, man. It's not just like telling them that; it's showing them that too. And that kind of goes back to what I'm saying. Like, dude, that's how you really separate yourself from other agents. Because all these other agents, they just want you to like put in an offer. They just want to convince you to buy what's in front of them, what they can get paid on the easiest and the quickest with the least amount of work.
But like all the schools are
like I was talking to somebody the other day who's looking to buy some property. They had some questions about the property.
That's why you got
and
that next spot, like
the person's already trying to like push them along to put in an offer and like buy this particular property. It's like, well, I'm not ready to do that.
Damn, these houses are crazy.
The person just wanted to push them along into a position where the agent got paid. So if you're the person that pushes to get the person more value up front, you become very unique. I'm telling you right now, the people who are prospecting for listings today are not trying to figure out how to bring that person what they want on the other side of it. None of them are thinking about that. They're just trying to think, how can I convince this person to sign the listing agreement? Because I want to sell this house and get a commission. They're not even concerned. Dude, most agents don't even ask the people.
By Anaheim.
Like, dude, I bet you we could run an experiment. I kind of want to do this too.
Here's one up
we just get, I don't know, get a few hundred real estate agents or something. And like have them record every call they make with listing prospects. And see like when they actually land these listings, how many of them, and it wouldn't just be calls, they'd have to record their appointments too, right? And just see how many of them actually asked what the person was going to buy when they sell this. Or if they were buying something. All right, we got two. We got Bellevue, or no, excuse me, Belleville, Illinois, and then we've got Johnston, Rhode Island.
Yeah,
two different referral clients hot right now. If you reach out, there's the link. Tim dropped it for you. Shoot us a DM if you are a licensed agent in Belleville, you want a buyer, Belleville, Illinois, or if you want a listing, actually, in Johnston, Rhode Island, hit us up right now. We can help you lock that in live here, but it's got to happen right now. But I bet you, dude, I bet you 50% or more never even talk to the client about where they're going. They're just freaking elated to have gotten the listing. That's one thing. The other thing is value, man. Like, add more value than anybody else does. Add more value. And that doesn't mean like there's something to giving a lot of value out for free up front, but I'm telling you guys, like get people curious about the value you have and then have them reach out to you.
Like right above Pasadena.
Because the problem is like most agents are chasing down prospects trying to convince them to do business with them. We need to change the script. You want to separate yourself from anybody else? Don't be the agent that is chasing them down. Be the agent that they are chasing down. And I don't mean like don't ever answer your phone. You need to be reachable. I mean, have a reason that they're coming to you. Have something in your pocket that they want. They know you've got it and they're hitting you up for it. Because now the whole dynamic of the conversation has changed. There's things we'll teach you guys to do that creates that type of inbound. It's like an inbound lead essentially at that point. But they don't even have to be inbound telling you like, hey, I want to buy or sell a house. It's just inbound. Hey, you know what? You said you have this. Can I have it? So I was talking with somebody on our team. He said he was going to have some meetings with some new builders today, new construction builders. And he was asking me, what should I freaking ask these people? What should I talk to them about? I'm like, dude, easy. Ask them, all the questions you can about their models, about their different elevations, about the communities that they have. Ask them what lots are available right now, which ones are going to be available. Ask them when the next phases are going to be unlocked and open to the public. Ask them, are there VIP lists that you can get your potential or interested buyers on? So they're the first people to know about, new lots or models or elevations being released. Is there any incentives? Are there any incentives that are being ran right now? Do they offer $10,000-$20,000 in free options and free upgrades? Are they offering financing incentives? Right? Like get as much information as you possibly can on what offers and incentives these new construction builders are offering. Because then when you're talking to people, you can tell them, oh yeah, I've got a list of all the incentives that this builder's offering right now.
Yeah, 15.
Reach out to me. I'll give it to you. Have an appointment with me. I'll bring it to the appointment for you.
Yeah, Apple Valley.
Now you take it from you're chasing somebody down because they have something you want, a property to list, and now they are interested in talking with you or meeting with you because you have the value. Create the mousetrap and just stuff it with more cheese than that rat's ever seen.
Very bottom, 5-bedroom, 4-bath.
I think that is the number one way to really separate yourself. The other one I'll add here, I've got one more for you, is like, dude, be you. Because the truth is that these people are going to fall in love with you and what you bring to the table, and then they're going to decide to do business with you. Like, think about your very best friend. You're not just any friends you have. Think about your very best friend.
Oh, there's Big Bear Lake.
And if Ian, you're here, I would love to see your answer if you're still in the chat, man, because you're the one that brought this up. But is there any way in hell that your very best friend is going to go buy or sell real estate with any agent besides you? Like, is there any freaking chance in the world that would ever happen? Your very best friend, or maybe your mom. Is there any chance in the world that your best friend or like your closest family member would ever go buy or sell real estate with somebody besides you? Any shot at that? But I'd love to see y'all's answers on that too, not just Ian. If Mr. Razor's here, I want to see it because he asked the question. But I'm curious about the rest of y'all. Is there any chance?
Yeah, and if you say no, I want to know why. Like, why do you think there's no chance that would happen?
But there's one, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for $434.
Your very, very best friend.
I remember you saying Fontana.
You would hope not. But I guess if you're out of sight, out of mind, you're not keeping them relationships warm and stopping in to say hi every now and then.
How is it your best friend if you don't have a relationship?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, Jonathan, think about your best friend. Like, I'm sure, like, think about who that person is right now. I'm sure you have somebody in mind.
Right.
Is that for you? Is there, if that person decided tomorrow they're going to buy a house, are they working with anybody besides Mr. Hicks?
No doubt about it. He'd definitely be working with me.
Yeah. So my point is, guys, that your best friends, they freaking like you. Yes, they trust you. Yes, they have to believe that you can get the job done. Yes, all this stuff. But guys, like, you're going to go to work. And the more that you are in this business and the more that you guys, kind of make it seem that you're getting results for people and helping people and getting this value, and, and especially if you're like, look at all the cheese I've got over here too, that kind of stuff, like, that's taken care of. But that's not really what separates you from these other agents, man. What really separates you is they like you. They like you more than anybody else. They like you so much, in fact, that somewhere in the back of their head, they may even think or know that there is another agent that maybe could offer a little bit more. But you know what? It's not worth not working with my best friend. So that tells you right there that if somebody likes you enough, they're going to give you the shot. Now you go fuck that up. You don't deliver when they give you the shot. You're never getting it again. Yeah, we got to deliver. We got to actually take care of them. Them liking us doesn't mean that they get a good result, but it does mean we get the opportunity. So that's the one other thing I'll add here, man, is just be yourself and put that out there. And the more you put it out there, the more you make it known who you are and what you like. And I'm not just talking about real estate, man. I'm talking about, like, dude, is that an ugly freaking Eagles green hoodie you're wearing, Jonathan Hicks? Do I need to throw up all over my mic? Right?
You know it. Philadelphia, right? Philly.
So Jonathan's never going to be my agent because I'm a Cowboys fan. But you know what?
Oh,
Magnets
man.
have two sides to them. One side pushes things away. So by Jonathan, this is a perfect example. By you wearing that hoodie, you turned the magnet up a little bit today. If you just wore a plain black shirt, I don't know anything about Jonathan. But because I can see Jonathan's wearing an Eagles hoodie, I know something about him. There it is, Brian. Rep it, baby. Rep it. So me and Brian could be my real estate agent. Jonathan Hicks can't be. You guys see the difference here? Because I can see Brian is a Cowboys fan. I can see that Jonathan is an Eagles fan. Now, if Brian didn't have that flag on his wall, if Jonathan wasn't wearing that hoodie, and I didn't know, if Brian just had a plain wall there, nothing on it, if Jonathan just had a plain hoodie on it, no logo, then I don't know anything about them. I can't make a decision one way or the other. But I'm not attracted to them, and I'm not pushed away. What I'm telling you guys to do to separate yourselves from other agents is to turn the magnet up. You can turn the magnet up by wearing stuff, by sharing stuff about what you like, and people will either love it or they will hate it. There's too many people, I think, that want to appeal to everybody. They would rather dress in all black and not post anything too controversial on their social media because they're afraid of losing this part of the market that probably wasn't ever going to freaking work with them to begin with. As more and more time goes on, dude, I'm kind of a fan. I'm like, dude, go post something political tomorrow on your Facebook. Go post something religious on your Facebook. Go post something about your favorite team on your Facebook. Go post something kind of controversial. As long as it speaks to what you truly believe in, I don't care which side of the fence you're on it, post about it. I'm almost like advocating for that. Why? Because it turns the magnet up, and it will do one of two things. It'll take people that are going to love you even more and bring them even closer, or it's going to take people that probably wouldn't have worked with you anyways and filter them out and push them away. And both things are very good, man. So that's the biggest thing that I will tell you, honestly, out of all this. Freaking be authentic, be yourself, and not just that, but put it out there. Make it louder, make it known. Too many of y'all, it's like, not only are you secret agents, you're just secret people. I don't know anything about you.
But 5 bedrooms, if you have 5 people in there, that'd be nothing.
Got to change that.
4 people in there, have an extra room.
Yeah, you got to be visible, and yeah, that's the other thing. How to stand out, be more visible than the other people are in your market. The more visible you are, the more top of mind you are. Fact is, most people by far go with the first realtor they talk to, whoever that is, and however that happens. So you got to make that happen. That's the key with it. The more you make that happen, however you go about it, which we got the blueprint. So you want to stand out? We'll make it very simple for you. Follow the blueprint to a T. You'll freaking stand out if you do that. Do it day in, day out, week in, week out. You will stand out like a freaking annoying sore thumb in your market area. And it's good. That means you're gonna
Peak.
have a lot of business happening before a heck of a long time.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I see the road.
What else we got, man? I feel like we got to address the title and thumbnail.
Valley of Enchantment.
So what's going on in real estate, y'all? Who wants to talk about owning property, buying property? We got any first-time home buyers out there potentially? Do we got any anyone looking to add to the real estate long term? If not,
You have a fucking piece of land by a lake for $9,000 up there.
or I guess third category is sidelines. We got anyone on the sidelines waiting to see what happens and decide what they want to do as a result. So which one are we, Chad? Are we 1, 2, or 3?
Park my Jeep. Save it for a couple years and sell it to somebody.
First time home buyer, 1. We
yeah, it is a pretty crazy road.
looking to add to the long term, 2, or are we on the sidelines waiting to see what happens and decide what we want to do after whatever happens? So Husana boy, we are technically, is that 1 or 2? First time or repeat?
Timber Mountain.
Got my first house in 2022. Nice.
Yeah,
so we're going to add to the long term here before too long is what I understand. I'm a 2 first.
North Carolina.
Okay.
Third highest mountain on the east.
Selling my FSBO. I appreciate the honesty, man, but you got to stop saying I'm selling my FSBO. Start saying I'm selling my house. Sounds a lot cleaner to me. Maybe I'm crazy, but so to build a second house on my homestead. Okay, right on. So interested. So 2. So no one's a 3. That's interesting. So we're trying to get the first. We're trying to get the next. Sell my or sell by me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's not too big a delay here. But what are we waiting for? I guess that's my next question. What are we waiting for? We waiting for more capital? We waiting for something to happen with the market, with rates? I guess what's standing between you and property number 1 or property number 2, or I guess whatever number it is beyond that. So we got a bunch of 1 and 2s in here. Do you need to ask mortgage company if you want to do renovation on your house? I've never heard of that. It's an interesting technical kind of question right there, but as far as I know, no. We got a 3. We're waiting to see what happens and decide what we want to do based on that. So what do you think's going to happen, man? That's my question for you. What do you think's going to happen? Or what do you suspect? Maybe suspect's a better word. What do you suspect might happen?
That's not bad at all.
Everyone else, what are we waiting for? Like, is it capital stacking up the long term with stocks with the 10%? Positioning yourself? Is it something with the rate, something with the market, something with the supply and demand? What are we waiting for? What needs to happen in order for you to get the next door?
There's a 1.6 million house. And real estate's crazy.
I'm definitely in the fun situation, but trying to find what creative ways I can leverage and get something.
Okay, so fun/creative deals. Anyone else? I mean, come on. I mean, YouTube, y'all are like waiting for me to say something, but I'm waiting for you to interact with me. Building long term first. Let's go, Tim Whitman. Let's stack it up. Every single time you get paid, your long term gets paid too, man. Let's make sure that happens without a hitch. Saving for the down payment. So it's interesting to think about, but I mean, what is happening in the markets? Like what direction are the values of properties going right now? Is it up? Is it down? Is it 50-50, Habibi? How are we feeling about the next year here? Like, let's say that let's say that we're on track to stack up that down payment over the next, year. Might be longer depending on your timeline for that. But is your down payment going to go up or down over that time period? What do we think? We got any feel for that? Any consensus? What are we thinking? Are you going to need more down payment in 12 months or more down payment today? Prices going down, then back up.
I think you told me, yeah.
More for sure.
I should have gotten stocks back then. If I would have gotten stocks and crypto back then, I'd be
Down payment will likely be higher, says our foreclosure specialist right there.
That's how crazy crypto is. If we would have put that $3,000 in the crypto,
So
we would have 100.
depends on election results. More regulations.
I was just playing fucking video games.
Now it's interesting, but what the title's alluding to is like, what's the demand like for real estate? What's happening with the demand? There's a lot of houses being bought up by, let's call it long-term landlords potentially. So what happens to prices if there's less inventory, if there's less houses coming to the market for sale, it goes up. But that's not really the only thing that drives. That's not the only thing that drives prices in real estate. But my point is this: you want to get in a position as soon as you can. If you got it on your mind that you want to get property 1, property 2, next property, what have you, make sure we're doing everything we can to get into a position where you have the option to do so. Because you got an option, like let's say you have the down payment ready to go. You don't have to go spend the money. It's kind of like making an offer on a property. It's like we got agents that wonder, should you put the full amount someone's qualified for on the proof of funds that you submit? Well, there's two sides to, ideas on what might be best there, whether or not to do that. But here's the thing. It's like, just because you're qualified to buy something doesn't mean you have to spend the money. Like there is no rule that you have to spend money just because you have it. And so my point is, do whatever you possibly can right now to put yourself in a spot where you have the option, where you have the down payment, where you have, and how do you do that? Well, one, we follow the rule. We take 10% off the top, set it aside, put it in the long term. It might just be, it might be invested in a solid long-term play on the stock. It might be there waiting for that next purchase. But two, what else can we do? Y'all know the laws of gold. Are there any other laws of gold we can apply in the meantime? Like, can we increase your ability to earn? Is there anything we can do there? Is there any skills we can sharpen up? Anyway, if you're working the 9 to 5, is there any way within that 9 to 5 that there might be some more opportunity you could pursue there? Like, could you get a raise? Could you get an upgrade of position somehow? Some more opportunity? Like, I'm not saying you necessarily have to work more, but like, what else can we do to increase your ability to earn, if anything? I mean, learn might help too, depending on what you're doing, but personally develop, regardless learning or not, like personally developing. What can we do to grow personally? And that goes beyond work, but all areas of life. But my point is, it's like, we got to get there sooner, because like, if we're not progressing forward, what's going to happen is, I mean, I'm going off of what y'all said here. Seems like there's a pretty good consensus that it's going to be more expensive potentially to get into a property 1 year from now than it is right now. So if the cost is going up, that means that we need to make sure our purchasing power is going up as well, and that we're proactive in doing whatever it's going to take in order to assure that we do that. Because if not, if we're not putting ourselves in a better spot and prices are going up, well, I mean, how long can that happen before this goal of getting home 1 or the next home or whatever it is Like, how long can that happen before it's just completely out of reach? Like, so home ownership, you know, not that we want to scare the crap out of all y'all here, but like, you know, hey, if home ownership is becoming less common, why might that be? Well, affordability could be a piece of it, but how can we position ourselves to where we still got opportunity? Now, I'm gonna say the way is create options, build that real estate long term, because guess what? If you have properties working for you in the long term, it's gonna help you to be in a position where you have an option to get another one. The longer we delay the process of getting one and getting the next one and getting the one after that, the harder it is going to be to get in the door. Because all the houses are being bought up by who? Well, some of y'all that could be buying them up too, you know. So that's why I want to mention on the elephant in the room, which is the topic, the thumbnail, all that stuff right there. But something to think about and seriously, like, not take it for granted. Like, don't assume that you'll have the same opportunity and all the time in the world to put yourself in a position where you own a home. I think many of us, it would be beneficial if we moved with a higher level of urgency in terms of that. I think you'll be glad you did if you can get to that mode.
Yeah, because they probably tipped me too.
But Trey, what else, man? What else?
No, I think we've hit some good stuff here today. I think we can land the plane here soon. Unless there's anything else you guys wanted to mastermind on, anything you want us to get in front of you, get talking about here.
Well, we got y'all. Anyone on Zoom? Anyone on Zoom got something we didn't hit on that y'all want to dive into?
Appreciate you too, Christian.
Yeah, no worries. I think I'm good for tonight.
We appreciate you too, Christian. There's multiple Christians in the house tonight, baby.
City bus?
But yeah, dude, I think
What is it, like the microphone?
oh, what a great job. You're gonna make us blush, bro. No, we appreciate y'all, man. We are very blessed to be in a position to
Pokemon Game Boy games. What is it though? Just a mic? Oh, it's just people talking? I thought it was like a microphone or like the speakers. I watched one video in New York and a girl was from Jamaica and they were late. Have you seen that? And the dude was like, "We're in New York City. I'm mad late. I might get fired, but that's my fault." Like, he was talking to a lady from Jamaica on the bus in New York and they were late for work. It was just funny. You gotta look it up. He was like, "You can't be." She was mad, and he was like, "You can't be making everybody else's day worse because you're late. You should have got on an earlier bus." He was like, "You can go back to Africa and walk your ass to work if you want to be on time." And it was just funny. You gotta go watch it. How he was talking to. It was kind of fucked up, but it was. It was just an old lady from Africa, and this black dude was like. He's like, "You just go walk to work if you feel like I'm mad late right now and I don't even care." He was like, "I'll get fired and I'll go get another job." So yeah, in the New York City. All right, Powell.